Exactly. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so welcome to the Fitness Education at Okanagan College information session. We'll go through a bit of a PowerPoint. We'll take any questions in the end. And the chat box is open, so please feel free to type any messages in there, any chats in this. Both Christy and I will be able to answer you. My name is, just gonna make sure I got the right thing here. My name is Helena, and I'm the coordinator for the program. I do all the sort of behind the scenes stuff, and know a lot about how things work, but I don't teach the courses. So Christy is here. So I'll tell you, Christy, you can say a little bit about yourself. Who are you?
Hello guys, I'm Christy. So I am a previous student of the college, and I am now an instructor for fitness theory. And yeah, we basically just go over everything fitness within the program, and I'm excited to be here and do this virtual open house.
Awesome, cool. You could also say that you did take the HKIN program both in Penticton and then UBCO as well.
Yes, I did. Yes, yeah. So I'm a kinesiologist. So I went from the personal training certification here with the college, which was fantastic. Highly recommend it. And then I enjoyed it so much, I went into UBCO and completed the human kinetics degree. It was great.
Cool. So we're going to do a little quick overview of the fitness courses and what to expect. Also how it works both in regular times and in COVID times, and what to expect sort of in the classroom. And go over a little bit about registration bodies, because it's a bit of a unregulated industry, so sometimes it's some gray areas and some questions about that, and then we'll go through any questions in the end. And yeah, it should be about, I would say, about 20 minutes or so. So fitness theory is where it all starts. It is a theory-based program. I shouldn't say that it's very limited practical components to the fitness theory. It's mostly about learning everything that you need to know to be able to understand how to then work with clients and how to put programs together and how to sort of build on the theory. But the theory portion is a lot about anatomy, physiology, muscle movements, skeletal system, cardiovascular system, respiratory system, understanding how the body works and how to put it all together. We run it twice a year. So the program starts every September and every January. And the course in total is 33 hours long plus homework time. And it runs 2 nights a week, usually. And in regular times, we run it face-to-face. However, at the present time, we run it in a blended online format. So you will never be face-to-face. You'll never be in the classroom with an instructor in an actual real classroom. However, you will be in a virtual classroom. So we use a platform called Moodle, and then we integrate Zoom or Collaborate into that setting. So you will have face-to-face contact with your instructor as well with your other students. We'll talk about that later. And you will also have some stuff that you'll be doing on your own. But that's what fitness theory looks like. After fitness theory, we have weight training. So weight training is a bit more hands-on and it's a bit more blended. It still has a fair share of theory components in it. However, it has a bigger practical component in as well. So see, though we do have a couple people that have logged in. So just to let you know again, I just want to repeat that the chat box is open. So feel free to pop any questions into the chat box at any point in time. And we will either hold on with the questions to the end, or if they work in nicely, we'll go in throughout the courses here. So I don't know, Christy, do you want to say something else about weight training and about a little bit more sort of what's in that one?
I would say weight training is like the perfect next step from fitness theory. In terms of fitness theory, it's very theory, but it's very interesting because it is all that stuff you get to learn about your body and use yourself as like a research project in a sense. But when you get into the weight training component, you get to use that knowledge that you've learned and really apply it on that hands-on, which makes it feel more real, and it really gets that like that in-depth learning experience. And then even just being in that group setting once every, it's one night of the 2 nights a week, just being able to practice and, you know, use that knowledge and share and kind of bounce ideas off of your students, I think is the greatest part of it, you know, or sorry, your students or your classmates. It's just nice to be able to apply what you've learned in fitness theory with weight training. It's very hands-on and real life focused, I'd say.
So with how we're doing weight training right now is that 1 night a week. So first of all, right after fitness theory, we also run weight training twice a year, and it follows fitness theory. So if you start with fitness theory in January, then your weight training will start in early March as soon as fitness theory is over. So they definitely go sort of like in a linear circle, like they follow each other in the order that you need them to be able to be successful. And right now in COVID times, we're running the weight training, as we said, in a blended and face-to-face format. So 1 day a week is online, and 1 day a week is in small groups at the college, at the Kelowna campus in the gym. We'll talk a little bit more about synchronous and asynchronous delivery and what it actually means and what it looks like a little bit later on here in the session. So after weight training, then follows personal training. So personal training is 63 hours in total. It is also in a blended format. So it's same setup as weight training with both theory and practical components weaved into each other. There's still a significant amount of theory to still learn in personal training. However, there is definitely a huge practical component in it as well. In personal training, you also work a lot with not just the students in your class, but with the people around you. So like borrow your aunt and uncle and some roommates and whoever you can find in your social circles that are willing to be exposed to your fitness education adventure. So you will be working a lot more with people in this course than you did in the other courses as well. So then we also run fitness, group fitness, and in a couple of slides we're going to show you a little bit of a diagram on how things are sort of all put together. But group fitness is all about groups, obviously. Exactly. So it's anything. It's not just high and low like old school aerobics, but it can be spin classes, it can be circuit training, it can be any sort of boot camp style, anything that is done with more than just you and one other person. So weight training and personal training is more focused on one-on-one, like one instructor and one client. And group fitness is focused on the bigger classes or even small group exercise classes, and the different dynamics and what you need to, how it differs from working one-on-one with the client. So it also comes into play actually when it comes to running your own business and insurance and making sure that you're covered. Group fitness also comes into play. So I always say that yes, doing the fitness theory weight training and the personal training course is fantastic, but please don't leave group fitness as if it's nothing just because you don't want to teach a high-low step class. Like it's not just that. It has to do with music and it has to do with choreography and stuff too, but it's a lot more than that. So we do run it on not regular basis, but we do run it usually in partnership with someone in the community.
So I would like to add to group in terms of what I've recognized just being in the field is if you are starting out as a personal trainer, a lot of gyms won't necessarily have you, won't hire you on as as you know, say a sole proprietor, but they would love to have you teach some of their classes. And if you could teach one or two of their classes and then take on clients before or after, or you gain clients through being a group fitness instructor, that was number one for me. And then I worked on a referral base. So you do create a name and a place and a hub for yourself that way. And it's just a great way to really bank hours and create more of a, you know, a full-time or even just a stronger part-time position as a fitness leader or personal trainer in the field, especially with group being more specific to like functional fitness, boot camp, spin class. It's a great way to create small group personal training as well, where you can, you know, you can really become lucrative within that hour of one-on-one if you now do partner personal training. But again, that's nice to be able to know group fitness in that aspect and be able to run a class efficiently, set it up efficiently, and just be able to keep your eyes on, you know, on your clients in a safe way and an effective way. So yeah, I think it actually is well worth it for sure for long-term success.
Absolutely, and it is a key component in fitness. There's a lot of people who can't afford to have a personal trainer, but they can't afford to do the small group sessions. They might, you know, put together 3-4 of their friends or whatever, and then hire, you know, Christy to come in or whatever. So it is key.
That's
it makes it more employable, not just if you run your own show, but also, like Christy said, if you go work for a gym or for a facility, it makes you a lot more employable to be able to do both. So
yeah.
Okay, now, oh, I did. Yeah. We did the next one. So this one will make more sense in the next session or in the next slide here. But each course in fitness world is called a module. So the fitness theory is a module, the weight training is a module, group fitness is a module. There are other modules as well, like yoga fitness, aqua fitness, third age. Third age is working with senior and, you know, the older generation. Aqua fitness obviously is in the water. And yoga fitness it was developed about, I want to say close to 15 years ago now, in collaboration with the yoga industry. So it's definitely not a 200, 500 hour, 800 hour yoga certification. It's not that at all. It is I believe it's 35-hour course that takes yoga moves and gives you an opportunity to learn the basics of yoga, to incorporate it into your sessions with either your clients or in your group fitness sessions. So it's not a full yoga instructor course. It is yoga movements in a group fitness setting, in a fitness setting, not in a yoga setting. So I think
it's definitely nice though, you can add in that as something that you do as a personal trainer. You have your yoga fitness module or whatnot. And it's also nice to learn proper stretches that will, you know, that will correlate well with the program you've created for your client too. So it's really, really good information to have. It does step you up. It does add to what you have to offer. Yep.
So this is sort of like how it works. So fitness theory is like the basics of all fitness education. You cannot bypass fitness theory unless you're potentially like a nurse or RMT or something like that, so that you have that knowledge already. If you do have that background, then you can challenge the fitness theory and just go straight into one of the other modules. But then on the second level there, that's where we have the modules, the weight training, group fitness, yoga fitness, aqua fitness, all those different modules run along the second layer. And then in the third layer is personal training that follows weight training. So you cannot take fitness theory on the same time as you take personal training, and you cannot jump straight into personal training without taking fitness theory and weight training first. So they very much build on each other, and it's key to take them in this order. If you were to say jump into personal training without having taken any of the other courses first, you would be sort of a lost cost, like above your head. Like there's a lot of theory that's covered in fitness theory and weight training, and a lot of practical components that's covered. So again, it's key to follow follow the steps in the right order to be successful. So when it comes to the delivery methods, so in the past, as I said, we used to run everything face-to-face, and we were working very closely either with the gym at OC, so we would go into the gym and sort of like on almost daily basis and every day in class, or we would work with a lot of the gyms around town. So we would go on sort of field trips or join their gyms, or in the group fitness sessions, we would go and, you know, do a session with someone at a different gym and make sure that you get exposed to all the different group settings. Now in COVID times, it makes it obviously a little bit more tricky to deliver the material. So we have changed it up a bit, and I just wanted to talk about the 3 different delivery methods that we do use as a blended format within most of the, within all of the modules. So the online synchronous learning is when you meet face-to-face at a specific point in time online. So that would be, say, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 5:30 for fitness theory. You meet, you log into the Moodle website, which is the software or the platform that Okanagan Colleges uses. It's sort of like an online classroom. So
Oh, okay, we've lost Helena. So what I'll do is I'll continue on. Maybe that will work. Except I don't know where the PowerPoint went. Let's pull it up. All right, so what she was talking about, see if she can get on there. I'll just check up with her. Okay, so now she was talking about the online aspect. So basically what we do with the online aspect is, let's say I'm your instructor, and so every week, basically you're going to sign into Moodle, and once you're in Moodle, you have your own little account here, and so you've got chapters, you know, 1 through whatever it may be, and we are going to do each chapter a different style of homework. So we'll say we pop into our chapter, we do some active health and fitness PowerPoint presentation stuff that you can look over on your own. Then what you'll do is you'll do this little 10, let's say a 10 question quiz. And then you can look at the CFES manual activities. So what we would do is I would assign you homework each session. You'd work on the homework, and then the next session, we would work on that homework together, or I would give you guys the proper answers for that session. Or sorry, for that activity. And then once you have that information, it helps you study. So after finishing those activities, having the correct information, because we had our session together, we then have the proper information to learn and study for the exam. And then we also have in each one different YouTube videos. So there'll be videos that represent the topic that we're focusing on within that chapter. So for instance, if it's chapter 4 and we're working on muscle structure and function, in chapter 4, we've got a couple of YouTube videos for muscle structure using YouTube. So it's fun and interactive in the sense that you can learn in different styles. So if you're somebody who likes to watch videos and learn that way, you know, that's where you're going to have the most benefits. And then if you're somebody who likes to do quizzes, you can attempt that quiz over and over and over again until you succeed, and then you've really nailed that knowledge. Again, when we meet, we do questions, answers. We talk about things that are maybe a little bit more challenging. We do a course review and wrap up. So that's really good, where we come together and we work on exam questions together. And then being online with fitness theory specifically, it's an online open book exam. So you can actually start the exam day 1 of your course if you really wanted to. With being that it's open book, but then there's the close date that you need to have it done. So that is what it means to be in a class together where you're doing the work on your own, but then we come together to make sure you're on the right track a couple times a week in the comfort of your own home. And then we move on to the face-to-face learning. So of course, not with fitness theory, but when we get into weight training and personal training and group fitness, there's a lot more hands-on. But because of, with what's going on right now with COVID, we actually are separating them, half and half. So the classes are 5:30 to 8:30, but we're splitting them, 5:30 to 7 and then 7 to 8:30, just to be safer and keep the groups in a smaller size. And Helena's back. You're muted, however. Oh.
Okay, well, there we go.
There we go. Okay, so
I have no idea what happened. Suddenly my computer locked and everything went black. It just
yeah.
Screen, and then I was gone.
It's okay. Right away. Yeah, right away. I was like, oh, and Helena's done. Helena's gone. So we'll continue. So what we did is we just finished this delivery methods, just explained what it looked like online, and explained what the face-to-face concept would look like right now.
Beautiful. Thank you, Christy.
Yeah.
So so we've already talked about this one as well before. So what to expect.
We can skip.
Look like, so we'll skip that one. So
here we go.
This one here, so is how to become a personal trainer. So it is a bit, we talked about before about being an unregulated industry, which means that technically there's no sort of big brother watching over us. There's no one registration body that all fitness educators belong to. There's lots, there's tons, there's endless amounts actually of fitness certifications out there. So the colleges, the Okanagan College is in line with CFES, and we'll talk a little bit about that on the next slide. But these are the steps on how to become a personal trainer with CFES, and sort of where the different things come in. So as we said before, all starts with a fitness theory course, and there's an open book exam to the fitness theory course. So Christy just finished fitness theory, so you can speak maybe a little bit.
I actually, when you ran away there, we did go over the weight training, what the difference between open book and closed book, so that they were able to actually work towards, with an open book, work towards the completion of their exam during the entire course. And we do some course, wrap up, review, that kind of thing. So it sets them up for success with the completion of that exam. Perfect. But then closed book, we didn't talk about what that looks like yet.
Yeah, so the closed book exam, both in weight training and in personal training, as well as group fitness, actually has the same one, is a closed book exam. So it's a proctored exam where you do not have any books, where it's computer based most of the time. It does come in paper based as well, but you are sort of required to know your stuff. It's sort of like a regular exam in school, if you call it that. So you study ahead of time. You will definitely have a review session. You will know what's sort of what coming up and what to expect, and then it's a closed book exam that you have to pass with 80% to pass the course. So it's a little bit, those exams are also based on both fitness theory and the weight training. So it's not just the weight training course. It's sort of like, as we said before, one step builds on the other. So on top of that, you also have something called an ISA, which is an instructor. What does it stand for? Anyway, it's when they're practical exam.
Practical. They have to do hands-on exam.
Yes, it's a hands-on exam that you do with a master trainer. So you work with someone like Christy or one of the other instructors, and you guys will meet up, and you have a package that you have to prepare ahead of time, and then you spend roughly an hour or so with an instructor going over your practical component of that course. So the ISA is part of both weight training, personal training, and group fitness.
I would say the best way to explain it is role play. You actually will generally bring in somebody like your client and then demonstrate what it would look like to be a weight training instructor, showing the moves, giving them the proper cues, and then the master educator is the one signing off, showing that you know what you're talking about and you looked like a professional and treated the client with safe and efficiently, whatnot. So role play,
Perfect. And then also part of this is that you need to have current first aid and CPR in place before you complete a module. So say before you complete weight training, you need to have that in place to become a certified weight training instructor with CFES. So the second level there of the step is the group fitness, which follows the same steps as the weight training. So both very, very similar. So when we talked about registering bodies, CFES is the one that Okanagan College is following. However, as you will see, other bodies, there are endless. Like that was like a 10-minute Google search. How many registering bodies could I find on the first 3 pages of Google? And that's what popped up. So when you do your research, you have to do, like, it's up to you, the research that you want to do. So you can go for a registering body that you take an online course that takes you 10 hours and you're stamped as a personal trainer. That is an option. Maybe not my recommended option, but really look at what is it that the different bodies are offering. What are the different courses offering? Like, how many hours of training? What's the content? What's the interaction with instructors? Do you have a mentor that you can work with? What is really the structure of the course? And if something is a weekend long, is that something that you feel comfortable taking and then going to work with a person on the floor?
I'd like to add to that too. It was about 10 years ago, you guys started with BCRPA and they transitioned into CFES. During that time, we had both manuals, and in all honesty, the CFES had covered things in such a great structure that it was easier I was learning more efficiently with that manual. So we were almost the guinea pigs during that time. So CFES's manual is structured beautifully. And then on top of that, managing and running a gym for 7 years, we actually would only hire people who had done a longer course. So CFES and BCRPA were our #1 hires. We wouldn't hire weekend courses because the liability was too much. It was just that we didn't feel comfortable with them working with our clients. So I've recognized that with other local gyms, they won't hire weekend certification trainers. Just keeping that in mind, depending on if it's something you want to do on your own, or if you do want to be hired on within a facility. So really look at that as well.
And you also have to look at where is the company coming from. So lots of American companies they're offering courses in Canada as well. And just sort of make sure that wherever you're taking your education, that you are covered. Like, so look into it ahead of time. Like Christy said, lots of the gyms here in the Okanagan is not going to look at you if you've taken a course that is all online and it took you a whopping 8 hours to do it. Like, you're probably not going to get a job. Right. Also, if you decide to run your own company, so you take your 8-hour course and you decide to run your own company, look into insurance, because there's a lot of insurance companies that, again, are not going to insure your business if you do not have the education to back you up. So both with BCRPA and with CFES, you can get insurance through them. So when you're registered or certified with them, the insurance component comes into play within the registering body or with the certifying body. So you also want to look at, where are you going in life? Are you going to stay here in BC? Then, both BCRPA and like Christy said before, BCRPA, CFES, it's great. If you decide to move away, BCRPA is provincial, CFES is national. So if you move to, say, Ontario, you can take a CFES certification with you, while BCRPA is not recognized in Ontario. So again, you have to look at, where are you going? Where do you want to take it? What are your passions? What are your ideas? What is it that you want to do? And then you need to figure out your best path to get to that place. One other big one is the CEC availability. So the CECs are continuing education credits. And they are pretty much, if a company does not require you to do CECs, I would say that you should probably very much look at why you would want to register with that company. Because again, fitness changed, trends change, research changed, like everything evolves.
Yeah.
And the CECs is your opportunity to stay with the times, your opportunity to learn more, your opportunities to grow, your opportunities to expand. So look at, you know, if you are with CFES, what workshops can you take during the year that will give you those continuing education credits? What does CFES recognize? What does, you know, other organizations recognize? How many of them are available in the community that you live, or to the community that you're moving to, or whatever it is that you're doing? So really look into the big picture. Don't just take the easy path or what you seem to think would be the, you know, least hurdles or whatever, right off the bat, because long term you might be shooting yourself in the foot.
The insurance too, if you don't take a longer one that's not as recognized, your insurance premiums are higher. So you're paying more a month for insurance. So it kind of, even if, you know, if it's a couple more bucks to go CFES or go with a different body, chances are you'll be paying less insurance, and in the end you'll be paying less overall.
Yeah. So there are, like, you know, sometimes I always say that I wish that it was a regulated body. I wish that there was a nursing association where these are your 15 steps, and this is what every single nurse in, you know, does. And this is, you know, same with being a lawyer, same with being doctors, like dentists, like whatever, like that they all have one place that they call home. With fitness is not like that. So really, if you want to talk about it, please reach out to us. Like, we'll happily, you know, help you, sort of guide you through it, and sort of talk you way through it, and pros and cons. I will never tell you that you have to do it this way. That is your choice. But I can give you a little bit more information on certain things and sort of point you in the right direction. So,
do I have to? Oh, there you go. You got it.
So there's obviously the college is here to help you reach your educational goals, no matter what they are, if they are academic or if they are, you know, part-time vocational, like this one falls under. So more like of an employment-based sort of courses. And thank you very much for attending the session. And sorry about the little ditch out and coming back there.
It was good. It was smooth. We were good.
Yeah. And also, if you've attended the session, I think if you registered for the session, you are automatically entered into the tuition giveaway. If you did not register for the session, you actually have to sign up. So the website is on the screen right now. So thank you very much for joining us for half an hour, and enjoy your day. And we look forward to hopefully seeing you in the future.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
There you go.